right, and welcome to Fastbreak Brekfast, NBA podcast. My name is Keith Parrish, and I'm here once again with my buddy through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Dave DeFore. Dave, there's a cat attacking my legs as we speak. How are you doing?
You know, I never have this issue with my dog.
Yeah.
And you guys with
your
cats
dog
are
understands
getting attacked.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Yeah, my dog is very respectful.
My cat is just overwhelmingly loving. This is not an aloof cat.
Oh, this is a love.
This is affection. This is, I don't know what to do with my feelings right now.
Mm-hmm.
I accidentally let my claws out. Lots of cats famously known for being kind of standoffish. I'm going to do my own thing. My cat is a lap dog. It just wants to cuddle and be near. And I normally lock it up in a bedroom while I record. And recently, it seems like she's gotten the hang of it that, hey, I shouldn't be scratching Keith's legs or jumping on the podcast area and eating microphones and cords. It seems like it's chilled out as it's aged a little bit. But right now, again, the affection, it's just, there's just too much.
That
also,
cat was in your lap last week.
It's true. Because she was being very calm. She was being a lap dog.
You're numb to it. You're numb to how it just the invasion of your space.
There is an invasion, but there's also specifically something about podcasting that gets her going, where she's like,
maybe there's a hum in the microphone.
There could be some electrical buzz, coming out of something. Also, I feel like I'm wearing right now, shout out Mitchell and Ness. I'm wearing some throwback Memphis Grizzlies shorts. These shorts specifically, these basketball shorts, also something about them. When the cat sees them, she kind of wants to grab at them. So I don't know what that is. Maybe she sees the claw. There's this claw holding the basketball, the Grizzlies alternate logo. And she sees the claw and she's like, this is my time. I want to grab the basketball too. I think she's chilling out. Your dog. So what's your dog doing right now? Just resting?
He's not here.
Understands.
He's at my girlfriend's house watching gymnastics.
Does your dog attack the gymnasts on the screen, or does it understand it's a television and not real?
My dog actually does not register that anything's on TV.
Oh, interesting.
I've had dogs that watch television.
Yep.
My dog, you point at the television, there's a noise from the TV. He checks the window. That television just isn't real to him.
Yeah.
It's pretty chill.
My cat sometimes watches TV. Every now and then I'll be playing FIFA on my Xbox 360. I believe it's FIFA 10 or 11. And every now and then, not constantly, I have no idea. I turn the soundtrack off. That's who I am. My wife hates I know no pop music. It's like, once it became an option to turn the soundtrack off on the save and load screens, I did it.
But the FIFA soundtrack is different. It's world music. It's
but like 10% of the time, 10% of the time, the cat goes crazy for the ball. But I don't know what happens the other 90% of the time, where it's the wrong angle, not in the mood. Anyways, I built a Lego cat. It's been a big cat week for me.
I saw the Lego cat and I couldn't help but think that the real cat is going to attack that Lego cat.
I didn't know if do cats look at the Lego cat and understand it is it's an image of a cat? That's what I don't know. Like, would the cat be like, oh, I've been replaced? But so far the cat not really bothered by it. Hasn't also gone up to it and talked to it or like rubbed its face against it like it's an actual thing. I don't think it registers as being a cat shape. I don't know if cats have a object shape identification like that.
You know that Boston Dynamics robot that this footage has come out of, people kicking it and trying to knock it down. What would your cat do to something like that?
Oh, I think just run away.
Okay.
Actually chase it. I feel like anything electronic, robotic that moves, the cat just wants to chase it. Maybe the weird Boston Robotics dog. No, I don't. But I feel like the Boston Robotics dog thing, maybe it would have some kind of innate dog warning go off. But yeah, our cat's never seen a dog as far as I know. Anyways, Dave, the Olympics are going on. I guess we should talk about basketball. There's a lot of basketball. I love the way Peacock has it set up. There's some good, there's some bad. I would say the bad is it doesn't feel like you can casually peruse Olympics. You can watch like the primetime broadcast or the main broadcast. Yes, they have the gold zone. Maybe that's perusing, but sometimes they're putting 2 or 4 events on the screen. Maybe my TV's not big enough. I don't have a 75-incher. I can't watch tennis in a tiny square. But if I know what I want to watch, it's amazing. Like this morning, I woke up. I just clicked on the little basketball icon. They have all their things like with non-spoiler titles. It doesn't say like so-and-so beats whoever. Watch the replay. There are no headlines. I love this. I love the no headlines. It just says basketball. It says Greece and Spain. I say, yes, I will watch that. I didn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. and watch it. I just watched it this morning, scrub through all the timeout breaks, all the inbounds, passes, and free throws, knock that bad boy out in 45 minutes. Delightful game. Great game. Huge win for Spain. But I've been enjoying watching these recaps. Are you catching up at all, or how's your Olympic consumption gone?
I'm catching up.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I texted you this before the show.
Yeah.
There's just too much Olympics.
Well, there's a lot.
And I only care about sports when they're live. I just don't. I have a hard time, unless it's for work, which, that means I'll go back and watch some of the stuff that I've missed. But it's too much. It's on 24 hours a day. Well, I don't really care about any of it.
No, frankly,
what if
I'm not a passionate person about
doesn't mean anything.
The Olympics. I do, of course. I watch the basketball because of so many NBA players being involved. I watch a lot of the soccer, the men's and women's soccer, because I just enjoy soccer and I enjoy watching that. A lot of the individual events, like I find swimming interesting when I don't have to watch the entire broadcast. Like if there's like a long wait, I love it how they do actually have every few minutes, like a heat will go. Like I'll watch, but I don't care that much. It's something to be on. The overwhelming nature of the Peacock availabilities, or at least the way they have it, it's like you can go on there and it's like you click on gymnastics, and there's like 16 hours of gymnastics that have occurred overnight somehow.
Right.
Because it's like they have a 2-hour broadcast of each little station, whatever you call you can just watch pommel horse. And it's like, there's just too much to watch. And that's where I don't know how to catch up. Like I'll watch 5 minutes of badminton. I'm not watching 30 minutes. I'll watch 5 minutes of handball, but I can't.
I have YouTube TV, and badminton has just been on one of the main sports channels.
There you go.
For a week now.
Yeah.
They actually started it before the Olympics. I don't know, man. I think I just missed when NBC told me what I wanted to watch.
I think they might have that. I think I saw that there might be an Al Michaels podcast that just says like, what do you want to know about? We'll tell you one sentence about each thing.
Podcast. I just want to let me put on channel 12 and whatever's on before the local news. I think that's
the main. If you go into Peacock, that's your main one. It's just like broadcast. So I'm trying to figure out, one thing about my ignorance of the Olympics is there's so many sports, and like my kids, so like my kids are vaguely into it. They're 6 and 9. Sure. But the funny thing is they keep asking me if a sport is in the Olympics, and I've realized I have no idea. They're like, hey, is golf in the Olympics? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, hey, it's like this. And they're like, well, why isn't this in the Olympics? Like, I don't know. And then they're like, is skateboarding in the Olympics? I'm like, yes, it is. Absolutely. Well, yes, it is.
They boot games from the Olympics, which I actually think is very funny.
Oh yeah. They remove things.
Right. It's very funny.
Like, is darts in the Olympics? Wait, it seems like it might be. Well, actually, no, it's not.
It's like, you're no longer a sport.
It is weird how they remove them and how they cycle them in. And they're like, oh, how many horsing events are there? I don't know. Are they all the same? Are these multiple horse events? I went to the dentist yesterday. I watched horse something the whole time. It was kind of fun. I didn't understand it. I watched it for an hour and still was unclear if it was a speed thing or if it was a scoring thing with judges.
Was it dressage? Was it barrel racing?
I don't know.
Was it? Equestrian?
It seemed like cross country. There was a lot of grass involved. You jumped over some obstacles. Every now and then you went through some water.
Okay.
But so it was muted, and there was a thing where it would come up at the end. It'd be like 137.2. And I'm like, are those seconds or points? I don't I didn't know. But still, also, it took me a long time to figure out that it wasn't like a 90-second event, that it actually was a really long event. They just kept cutting between different horses. Unfortunately, to me, all horses look the same.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
Horse face blindness.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That horse, what is that, brown? Yeah. Is this another brown horse?
Appaloosa?
I did, yeah. I didn't know what the horse. I can recognize the distinct horses in Red Dead Redemption 2, but I cannot recognize Olympic horse with a rider where they all look the same. It's like, oh.
No Arabians?
Also, it's like the riders. It's like, oh, that's a fella. I didn't know. The last one was a lady. Do ladies and fella riders, is it all the same event? I would hope so.
I think it's more about the sex of the horse.
And then, then the found out the horses don't even get medals. Anyways, the basketball, that was amazing. I guess we should get into that a little bit. Let's do it after our breakfast. Have you had a breakfast, Dave? We always, of course, have to talk about our breakfast before getting into anything else. What breakfast did you have?
Well, not only did I have breakfast, I posted it in the
Fastbreak Brekfast Patreon only Slack channel. I missed it.
That's right.
I never scroll up
over there.
Yep.
Had some eggs, some beans.
Oh, so good.
Some Spam toast and the old Aldi protein shake.
I wish I had more beans and eggs in my life.
I made a 3-bean salad yesterday. Oh, yeah? And this salad, the great thing about beans is that the longer that they sit in some seasoning, the better they taste. Mm-hmm. That salad tomorrow is going to be incredible.
I'm happy for you.
Make a salad. Make a bean salad.
Let that thing marinate. By the way, how many events would you guess are in the Olympics? How many different sports? Because this is, again, the thing you could ask me. I'd be like, I don't know, 100. But I don't actually know.
I mean, just like there's so many just track and field,
So I don't even, is all track and field considered its own event? I would assume yes.
Okay.
According.
So I don't know, 50?
There's just one. All right. So I'm looking right now, according to the Olympics website, there's just one thing called equestrian. Is that all horse stuff? It's just equestrian? It's all the same thing?
Sure.
There's only one horse event is what you're telling me.
I guess.
There's 40, according to the Olympics website.
Oh, okay.
The next game.
The rock climbing or sport climbing, I'm not sure what they're calling it, but I'm worried that's going to not stick.
Dave, there's something called athletics. There's a sport. It just says athletics.
This seems like something I should go medal in.
You should.
Just go do some sports.
Athletics seems to be lots of. Oh, wow. Okay. Athletics is like 100 track and field events, according to the categorization. So this is not. Wow. Now I'm actually curious because the Olympics has laid out 40 sports that are in the Olympics. However, the number of different events, now
basketball,
seems
right? Like you have men's, women's.
But basketball and basketball 3x3 those are different.
Are separate. Oh.
There's a thing called breaking. Wait, break dancing is in this?
Oh, yeah. We
have break dancing in the Olympics?
Break dancing.
My mind continues to being blown. Canoe slalom. Oh, I watched that last night. I watched canoe slalom last night. It was great.
Yeah.
A lot of BMX.
In the 96 Olympics, they did all that whitewater stuff up in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, in the Ocoee, of course.
The Ocoee, yeah. I was a guide on that river one summer.
There you go. I went on it one time, not during the Olympics. During another moment. My breakfast, Dave, I had a plain glazed donut from the closest donut establishment to my house. This is the week before school starts for the children. We start them early now. Yeah, we start them early in Tennessee, which is not terrible. My kids, they're excited and ready to go back to school. Me and my wife are also excited and ready for our kids to go back to school. We now get free daycare, or daycare that comes out of our property tax and sales tax. No income tax in our state. But it feels free. And so we're excited about it. But anyways, this is like the week off. We don't have a camp. The kids are just home. or watching the Olympics. They're reading a lot. But we're all home. So we got some donuts. I had one gigantic glazed donut. It was tremendous. Highly recommend. Anyways, Dave, after our breakfast, we of course do our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we got wrong on a previous episode. It's basically my chance to say what I did wrong last episode. Usually the first time we talk about basketball. This is not a basketball apology. I said last episode that Nikola Jokic had a disgusting goatee. Well, it isn't actually a goatee. I was misled by a photograph. I don't think the photograph was digitally altered or anything nefarious. I think the lighting was weird on the plane. It looked like he had a straight up goatee. And I'm like, that looks horrible. Get rid of it. No. He has a disgusting beard. And I'm okay with the disgusting beard. I think it's fine. He's gone full beard. It's okay. I apologize for calling him out for having a goatee. I thought he purposefully shaved down to a goatee, which I consider to be a no-no. And I'm sorry. I got that wrong. So that's my only apology so far. And now I guess
show up here with a goatee one day just to see what happens.
You should do it. If you want your girlfriend to stop talking to you, you should do it. Let's talk actually about Serbia Team USA game. This game was big time. And it had a lot of maybe fun elements to it that are for the extreme pro Jokic crowd. The biggest stat from the game, which feels impossible, is the Jokic on-off numbers and the plus-minus numbers. Crazy. And they're always going to be good. Obviously, Serbia is better with Jokic. Yeah, of course. But still, I don't even know how these numbers are this stark. The straightforward plus-minus where Serbia was minus 26. They were outscored by 26 in a 26-point loss. In the 9 minutes, Jokic did not play. But the actual scoring numbers are what seem incomprehensible. It was 81-81 with Jokic on the court. And then the USA outscored Serbia 29-3 in the 9 minutes. Jokic didn't play. And now all of this is fun, just more propaganda for the big Jokic fans. Also, the reverse of that is the Joel Embiid stuff. Embiid. Yeah, there's the yin to the yang there. Joel Embiid, oh man. So he ends up a -8 in a 26-point win, barely plays. Of course, that's because he was going up against Jokic. Serbia got off to a hot start again. They jumped up to an 8-point lead or something. But much like the exhibition game these two teams played, the showcase game, USA just blew them out in the second half. Serbia could not keep up. Very similarly, in both of those games, Serbia's guards couldn't hit shots and the team couldn't make three-pointers. But still, so you end up with this wild plus-minus number for Jokic, this bad-looking game for Embiid. My thought, first of all, unrelated to Team USA, Serbia is not bereft of NBA guys. They have at least some guys who have played in the league and currently play in the league. And I can't get over just how invisible those players were. Like Micic and Bogdan Bogdanovic not hitting anything. Marko Guduric, you played in the NBA at least a year. How are you absolutely invisible? Again, 29-3. You would think once Jokic comes off, they would put all their other best players on to try to maintain. I don't know how they can't accidentally score the basketball.
So Nikola Milutinov, as the backup center. Hey, by the way, rough drafted by the Spurs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he just isn't good enough,
right?
To just tread water,
right?
So that's the problem. It's a parade to the basket. It's nothing on the offensive end. He was minus 20 in his 15 minutes.
Also,
you're going from the best player in the world to the 18,000th best player in the world.
I'm just saying, how can that Petrushev guy, he's been in the NBA, he's played in the NBA, right? Or is he just his rights? Yeah. They have Jovic. Jovic was good on the Heat. Meanwhile, he's just stinking it up out there. And it's maybe I'm just remembering the highlights of games past where like Carlos Arroyo led Puerto Rico to a famous win in the World Championships, but it's like those guys would have like one guy.
Right.
We're talking about like
but
Rondé Hollis Jefferson on Jordan. Those would have one guy. Serbia at least had like 3 or 4 guys. You know who they are. You're like, just score 10 points during this time.
Playing against the best basketball team ever put together.
I'm still not there yet.
There were 3 of the 12 best players, in my opinion, ever on Team USA.
Yeah, okay. I'm fine with that.
So I just think that's kind of it's tough, man. And they don't have the defense. Serbia doesn't have the athleticism.
Oh no,
they just can't hang. They just can't hang.
I mean, the Team USA performance, it was really good, and I don't know if it's always going to be like that. Like Team USA shot 62% for the game, highlighted by Kevin Durant being perfect. Like if Kevin Durant and LeBron James shoot 95%,
right?
What are you gonna do? And so, but it was still notable at halftime where it was what LeBron and LeBron and KD combined were 13 for 13 from the field in the first half, and it was still a 7-point game. But of course, Team USA blew it out. Thinking about those like non-Jokic lineups, I pointed this out on social media because I was still blown away that like once Jokic went out of the game, I loved Team USA's lineups even more. It's like they were saving their best Team USA lineup for non-Jokic. Like they had
Steph, Drew, Derek White, AD, and LeBron out there at one point. And I was thinking to myself, if the Lakers just went and got Steph Curry, Drew Holiday, and Derek White, man. What are you doing, Rob Pelinka?
Like, I don't love them. I understand why they're starting Embiid, and it's maybe going to get awkward going forward because Jason Tatum got the DMP in this one. That was a big storyline. LeBron and KD shot 95%. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it wasn't Tatum's night, but like eventually it's like, well, why are we can DMP Joel Embiid, and maybe that's just, is that any less or more weird? I feel like we're headed that way, but this one lineup that Team USA put out once Jokic went to the bench was like the first time I think he checked out. Team USA had Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, which we know is their best front court combination.
Right.
And then they had KD at the 3. All right. Steve Kerr seemingly has been loath to ever play big in previous Team USA iterations. He finally goes big with KD at the 3, AD and Bam 4-5. No one can do anything with this. That's your gold medal winning. No one can do anything with that. And you could put basically anyone, Drew or Derek or Steph, but they had Derek White and Anthony Edwards in this. And just that defensively, maybe that explains why Jovic didn't make a shot.
Right. I mean, like Bam Adebayo can bring the ball up.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Serbia is like, okay, Jokic, please do this.
I will say the one difference I'm really noticing between Team USA, Team Canada, and maybe everybody else is just how much the NBA strategy of whoever gets the rebound, bring the ball up, has taken over those teams. And I've complimented, I think Spain, who had, again, a huge win over Greece this morning, like Spain and Germany, they play so well together, but they still feel a little bit like antiquated by handing the ball to the point guard, like getting the rebound, then handing the point guard. Like Greece never got transition points. Maybe they never will, just because they always hand the ball back to my guy, Nick Kalathis. And like, I love Nick Kalathis, adore him. It's amazing he's still playing, but like he's slow. And also you lose a chance for just a quick transition bucket or even a secondary break by always handing the ball back to your point guard and letting him bring it up.
Biggest issue that Greece is running into, they just don't have, outside of Giannis, they don't have the elite athleticism or size that you want to be able to push in transition. And for them, they're going to need to manufacture a few more buckets in the half court. So I think that they just have to maximize every possession.
I mean, their
backcourt is Thomas Walkup and Nick Kalathis.
Yeah, the proper pushback is no one on Greece can dribble. So that's do you want Papa Giannis pushing it, Papa Nicolau? Anyways, by the way, Santi Aldama, incredible.
He's an amazing international player.
Summer Santi continues to be this huge thing. He had 27 points in their first game. It was a blowout loss, but he was big. I don't know what he finished with. I'm pretty sure he had a double-double. He kind of yammed on Giannis. He stared at Giannis. He drew 3 offensive fouls on Giannis. One of them was an egregious flop where he grabbed his face and the crowd turned on Santi. They started booing Santi.
I have to watch that.
But then he comes down and drills a 3. Oh, Santi Aldama. Like, yes, the FIBA line's closer, but all of his 3-pointers today, they were deep. They were all comfortably NBA range. No, Santi was bringing it. He's been awesome for Spain. But going back to Team USA, you keep calling them the best team ever assembled. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just too nitpicky. Like, I don't know if there's going to be I think they're going to struggle at times. And this didn't count because KD made every shot and LeBron made every shot. But like, if they can deploy like those second units we're talking about, we're like, oh, now we whip out KD, Bam, and AD. It's like,
I have no reason to think that KD isn't going to shoot something similar to this for the whole tournament. Yeah. These guys don't bother KD.
They don't affect him.
NBA guys don't really bother KD. These guys really don't. I mean, it's a shooting contest. There's one, maybe 2 teams that can give him trouble. Although I don't, from what I've seen in France, I've been kind of side-eyeing that game over here.
Oh yeah, well, we'll France and Japan are playing right now as we record.
Yeah. I don't think there's any team that's really going to threaten them. Serbia, maybe, if they can get to the gold medal game from the other side.
I mean, how much of Serbia? Like they have very little margin of error in the group play to advance. And you wonder, like, can you play Jokic 40 minutes? Like, what's the trade-off? And now, like, if they take care of business against Serbia against South Sudan and against Puerto Rico, by the way, congratulations to South Sudan getting an Olympic win. Did you see the story that like Luol Deng has been paying for everything for that team? Much like Flava Flav sponsors the women's water polo for the Team USA, Luol Deng has just been like paying for everything for South Sudan. It's an incredible story. But yeah, they got a win over Puerto Rico, came back, and their athleticism has just overwhelmed some teams so far. That was the problem it's wild to say South Sudan's athleticism was a problem for Team USA in a showcase game. We'll see. And especially I think we think about for Team USA, who's going to guard KD. When we think about future matchups, you think about maybe Canada having Dort and Dylan Brooks. They're still too small. I mean, they dusted off Kim Birch today. But still, they don't have the size and athleticism like Dwight Powell's or big guy Kelly Olynyk. It's not that embarrassing. I was thinking for Jason Tatum getting a DMP, like Joe Ingles and Matthew Dellavedova got a DMP. You're fine,
right?
I don't think Tatum's going to catch Santi Aldama in the Olympic scoring race, though. It's going to be kind of hard.
Somebody has to take a DNP.
I mean, Halliburton, that makes more sense.
He doesn't stink, but compared to the rest of those guys.
Compared to the rest of the guys. I mean, there might be moments where you need his, I don't know, he does provide the pace in the offense.
No.
Okay. Bill Rafferty keeps talking about how good he is at defense, which is like, well, I mean, Steph is just so important. And then Drew and Derek, those guys pounding players 94 feet and being good at offense. And like Serbia kept one of their big issues. I mean, of course they can't guard, so maybe going over on screens would also have been certain death. But it's just like they're conceding. Like Drew Holiday's, I guess we're going to give him walk up 3-pointers because what are we going to do?
Right.
We got to help off everywhere. Is there any more about any of these Olympic basketball games we need to hit? I think we can. I'm trying to not ignore. I will say Team Canada, their win today over Australia, which is of course an important win. They're in that group of death. RJ Barrett was awesome. And I didn't watch their first game that closely, but RJ Barrett's stats in their first game were also really, really good. Like RJ Barrett, international baller, like he is way more critical to Team Canada than like Jamal Murray is. I mean, Jamal Murray looks sorry, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what's up with Jamal Murray. Like, he's giving me Ray Felton vibes.
I mean, RJ, I think like he's a better rebounder in international play, but he's not a bad player. Like he's like, I feel like he's in this, eventually will maybe be in the Tobias Harris zone, where it's not like this guy stinks. Like he's a good player.
Yeah.
And RJ, especially, like he's good athlete, great size, super physical. The stuff that works in international basketball, like he's going to be able to be more physical defensively, so he's going to be more effective. And then on the offensive end, like I feel like the game is just a little bit more diverse, so he gets to play a little bit more like basketball rather than NBA style basketball. Like I think he's just a basketball player.
Yeah, the international game is more comfortable with the in-between game and having mid-rangers. And like he was working a lot as like a zone buster. He kept getting the ball near the free throw line, top of the paint, and he was great at facilitating, like hitting the cutters, hitting the guys in their dunker spot. And then when not, he would score a mid-ranger. He hit a floater, or he'd use his size to be able to catch it 15, 18 feet from the basket and then get all the way to the rim. So like maybe he's more tailor-made for the international game, but he's been very impressive. I mean, Shea is just amazing is what he is. Dort had a great game today, but like, are we worried yet about Jamal Murray coming off? I mean, I guess he's beat up. Worried. He was beat up in the playoffs last year. Wasn't very good. I guess he's still hampered. Part of me wonders like how much of Jamal Murray and his playoff heroics were like fueled by him being teammates with Jokic and like, oh, he's on a heater. He scored 50 points because he's been given this, I don't know, supernatural power by Jokic. I don't know. Like now I'm worried about like the whole Nuggets. And of course there's been a lot of talk about the Nuggets in their whole offseason and their decisions, but like Jamal Murray.
I see the propaganda already starting. You know that Christian Brown, if he had hit 3 more 3-pointers, would have shot 40% for the season.
I
see the propaganda already. It's July 30th. Keith.
One of my Nuggets buddies was like circling Christian Brown and all the players who were drafted around him, which is like Jake LaRavia and Walker Kessler. And they're like, man, what a great pick Christian Brown was. And I still maintain you put anybody beside Jokic, I think it's going to be a good draft pick. Like, maybe Brown's hustling brand of basketball would have translated to any NBA franchise. But I think he's getting a significant like plus 30% ratings boost on all his skills by being alongside Jokic.
Being able to play off Jokic at the elbow and the wing, where you know he's going to draw 2.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get the shot up.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's actually, I got one more thing to say about the Nuggets, and then let's actually talk about this Tyus Jones signing. The Phoenix Suns got Tyus Jones for nothing. We'll talk about that right after this short break. All right. So we didn't do like our steak and eggs, best things, or our cream of wheat, worst things this week, but I will say I have a cream of wheat, and it's that the Suns got Tyus Jones for nothing. That somehow the Phoenix Suns, who've been backed into a corner, they went all in on the season a year ago, and now they've like traded away all their future picks. They're, the only team brave enough, besides maybe the Celtics, to go deep into the second apron. But like, I felt like they were pretty good, but they did not have this ceiling to become like, not even like a 1 seed in my mind. And I didn't feel like they're that good even come to the playoffs. They're very limited. They're very much dependent on health, and they still are, of course, but they were given a lifeline by the NBA, by every franchise, I think, and just getting Tyus Jones for the minimum. And I'm not even the biggest Tyus Jones guy. Like, despite being a Grizzlies podcaster, Tyus Jones has extreme limitations, and he has extreme playoff limitations. But getting Tyus Jones for free to soak up, like, I don't know, 10% of the minutes that need to be played in the regular season for the Suns is incredible. Just a guy who's not going to make mistakes and is going to get the ball to Bradley Beal and Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Like, that's awesome for them. And that for me is like honestly transformed how I look at this team, which feels weird to say. I've seen people saying, I don't think it changes their ceiling that much. For me, regular season is transformative. It makes them way better. For the playoffs, maybe it's marginal, but I still think it helps a lot. And the fact they got him on the minimum, it's wild. I feel like the rest of the league kind of asleep at the wheel, where it's like, why don't you don't want just like a quality player? Like just like a quality guy who can start for you, or if not, come off the bench, play 20 minutes. Keith. They don't want it.
A lot of them don't.
The Nets are like, I don't want a point guard. We have Dennis Schroeder. We're good. The Wizards are like, Bub Carrington, let's go.
How about Orlando, man?
I don't know.
Could he not have been down there? I mean, now Orlando, I think probably needs a more offensive-minded, like shoot off the dribble guard, to be honest with you, just because they've got guys who can set other guys up.
Yeah.
But the Tyus Jones, number one, is signing this late is insane.
He screwed up. He screwed up. Tyus screwed up. The Wizards also screwed up, but keep going. Yeah.
No, go ahead. Well, it's for Phoenix. I guess this is good. I just don't believe in that team at all. But I think this is a bigger miss for the teams that could have used them. I mean, Denver, for instance.
That's what I wanted to say.
Minnesota could have used him.
Sorry, that was my transition. Thinking about Denver, like you're telling me, and maybe they had no concept Tyus Jones would have been available for Dario Saric money. But you're telling me you wouldn't give that taxpayer MLE for Tyus Jones to, again, like he would play 30 minutes a game on Denver. He would start every game, every back-to-back where Jamal Murray doesn't play. He would be that answer at backup point they've been searching for, but also he could play alongside Jamal. Like that would have been an amazing signing for the Denver Nuggets. And then you can give Dario Saric the minimum he deserves. Like, Denver doesn't even have a roster spot still. And I understand Tyus took this because of playing time. Eventually it came down to playing time. Yeah, you look at like the Timberwolves tried to get him. They couldn't offer him the same thing. I think about the Lakers. You don't want Tyus Jones, but I mean, they're committed to D'Angelo Russell, and Tyus doesn't want to take the minimum for a bench role. And apparently he turned down more money. My understanding or my thought, like the more money he turned down from like the Grizzlies was something like $5 or $6 million. It wasn't like he turned down 12 or anything. I'm guessing that's what the Hawks offered. Tyus said, I don't want to be a backup to Trae Young or Ja Morant. I think the opportunity for him in Phoenix, and Tyus released a statement saying that like Budenholzer said he's going to start. And so I guess that means, I mean, Grayson Allen goes to the bench. Grayson and Tyus, college teammates, also were teammates on the Grizzlies a few years ago. But like, I think Tyus starting for the Suns.
So Tyus Jones, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and
Nurkic.
And
then your main bench guys, you got Grayson Allen, you got Royce O'Neal. I love that top seven. I really do. This signing stinks for Monte Morris, who I think was wanting to rebuild his value, but also the Suns now have the two best assist to turnover guys. You got Tyus, who's led the league in assist to turnover, 4 straight years. And then the count of assist to TO. Is that I say it right?
I guess. I don't know.
But like Monte Morris, like when he's healthy, just having that much ball handling that's not going to screw up, I think it's going to be awesome for them. They are still short, like a big. They need to make Nasir Little a thing again, or something. Like it feels like they could use, I don't know, like a healthy Jared Vanderbilt type. A guy who could play the 5 or the 4 and just grab rebounds. So like they're still not a perfect squad, but this to me boosts them massively.
Are they a playoff team to you?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think we have
playoff, not play in.
I think now they win 50 games, and I did not think they were going to win 50 games before this. I was just, again, I'm just breaking down the playing time. And like, who cares I don't think it matters if you're that small on the perimeter, if Devin Booker or Bradley Beal have to play the 3, or if it's like Grayson Allen. I just think now knowing, of course, caveat on Nurkic playing 60, 70 games, same for Durant, same for Booker.
Right.
Even if Beal's out, it now doesn't matter because like I think you can miss one of those guys, Beal or Booker, for long stretches. If you have Grayson Allen and Tyus Jones, and just like those are regular season guys, your offense is going to be awesome. I think your offense is going to be just way, like, I know it was good even last year and their issues have been on the defensive end, but I just think like now 48 minutes a game, you're not going to have any lulls whatsoever. And again, I fall back to the on a minimum. It seems like some other team would have paid, some other team in the Western Conference would have been like, I'll give you $7 million to not go to Phoenix. because I don't want Phoenix to be boosted. I want them to be terrible.
To be honest with you, though, I think that playing time, maybe we'll see more of this as the middle class gets more and more squeezed out with just the salary dynamics and the way they work, where guys are going to take these sort of make good. I mean, Gary Trent Jr. signed a 1 year up in Milwaukee. I mean, he signed with a contender. He's going to be on TV a lot. He's probably going to start, like we said.
I think Gary Trent's going to play a lot of minutes.
And he's going to get a ton of minutes. He's going to have a lot of wide open shots. So, maybe we'll see more of these younger guys stuck in the cycle of, being the 6th, 7th guy on mediocre teams that are looking for opportunity.
I mean,
it's interesting, especially as the second apron becomes more and more of an issue.
Yep.
This could be, maybe this is the new way teams win on the margin. They pick up Tyus Jones. I just don't believe in the Suns at all.
Yeah. Which is weird because that's my block. That has been my corner that I've defended for a while. I don't believe in the Suns. When they traded for Durant, I was like, I'm very skeptical. When I traded for Bradley Beal, I killed them. I'm like, this is a horrible move for your franchise. Like, what are you doing? Then when they salary dumped DeAndre Ayton, which allowed the Bucks to get Damian Lillard. I'm like, what are you doing? You have a window of 2 years and you're helping other teams, contenders, get better players than you. So I've been like criticizing the Suns constantly, I feel like, for a while now. And now I'm like, this is you did a really good thing. And like, you have to credit Matt Ishbia for just being like, I'm going to pay money. Yeah, I'm going to waive David Roddy / trade him for EJ Liddell and then cut EJ Liddell so I can sign Tyus Jones to an open roster spot. I think it's an impressive bit of work. By the way, the error of the Wizards, how are you letting Tyus Jones walk for nothing? Like, you were tanking last year, but you got him to flip him. That's why you got him. And they turned down multiple seconds for him at the trade deadline last year because they wanted a first. And we see teams do this a lot. I've never understood we're tanking and this guy is an expiring salary. So like, when it comes to whatever the deadline, 3 p.m. on trade deadline day,
right?
Don't you just say, okay, fine, give me 3 seconds, or okay, or whatever it is. This was going back to the year the Grizzlies didn't trade Tyreek Evans when he was on a 1 year deal, and they even pulled him out of the games like the week before the trade deadline. It's like, well,
I wonder if they didn't think they were going to have a sign and trade opportunity with someone.
They absolutely did.
And then the market for Tyus Jones wasn't at the dollar value that they probably expected it to be.
So I think what happened, I was reading this guy, Troy Halliburton, his Substack, he covers the Wizards. According to him, what happened was, all right, they did not get the offer they wanted at the trade deadline. So their intention was to re-sign him or try to do a sign and trade this offseason. Well, Tyus Jones perhaps screwed up by turning down their initial offer. They said, we'll pay you multiple years, $10 million a year or so. And he wanted to get paid like a starting point guard. He felt like he proved it. This is also a little bit of a monkey's paw situation for me, with Tyus Jones always wanting to be a starting point guard and then going to the Wizards where they were horrible. Tyus Jones put up great stats. I mean, he shot an unbelievable percentage from 3.
Yeah.
Which also goes back to the whole, if shooting is one of the most important things in the NBA and you have all these guys who are 40% 3-point shooters on high volume going for the minimum, that confuses me. Like, why wouldn't a team maybe it wasn't possible, but the Nuggets couldn't have been like, yeah, Gary Trent, you can start for us minimum. Like, we'll bring Braun off the bench. Like, don't win any shooting. But like Tyus Jones minimum, Gary Trent minimum. But Tyus turned down that first offer. And then once the Wizards made the Denny Avdia trade where they ended up with Malcolm Brogdon, then all of a sudden the roster's too full. They can't offer Tyus the same salary they were going to offer him. They wanted to move Malcolm Brogdon, but guess what? No one's trading for Malcolm Brogdon, guys. Like the Wizards now might be stuck with him too, unless he can play like 35 out of 40 games to start the year. If Malcolm Brogdon's healthy for 35 out of 40 games, then you try to trade him. But like the Wizards sort of misplayed this.
Could this be the 3rd season in a row that he's too injured at the deadline to be moved?
I don't know. Was he too injured? I mean, the sixth man of the year, that was just 2 seasons ago, right? I mean, with the Celtics, like he was healthy enough then, but they didn't want to move him. Anyways, Tyus now hoping he can be the rare guy who takes the minimum and then comes back from it. Like those make good deals. They don't happen that often. No. Like once you're a minimum guy, kind of a minimum guy. I mean,
how many years in is Tyus Jones? What is it?
A lot, like seven or so. 7? Yeah, that would top of my head, I would say something like 7 or 8. Yeah. Like Kelly Oubre is still waiting. I mean, he took minimum last year. He took less this year, so I believe he can get paid next year, is the understanding. And maybe that's spelled out on a, I don't know, what's that Cyberdust app?
A
wink and a handshake, a self-destructing text message. I don't know, but like it's hard for Tyus, but I do think it's a perfect situation for Tyus to play really, really well. And I think the Suns now, I legit had him. I mean, I've done my hierarchy. I did my hierarchy on Grits and Grinds of the West like a few weeks ago. I think I had the Suns around like 7th, 6th, 7th. Now I think they're like closer to like 4th. And I'm a big believer in this being a big regular season boost to the Suns. Anyways, let's answer a listener submitted question. We have a single listener submitted question, sort of about Tyus Jones. This is the croissant questioner. This is a question from the Patreon. Roy asks, what's the best roster you can make of players who signed for the minimum this offseason? It's a little bit challenging. I'm actually going to make this question more challenging. I've done a little bit of homework, Dave. I didn't give you a heads up. But I'm going to make it more challenging. I wanted to make the best roster of guys who changed teams for the minimum. Changing teams for the minimum is really a bargain usually, if you can find a guy who has actual NBA experience. Now, this team, I will say, it's a little small. It might be Steve Kerr International Basketball small. But I think the best player who changed teams on the minimum, I think is, of course, Tyus Jones, unless you believe in Russell Westbrook.
What about Taurean Prince?
I think Tyus Jones is a much better player than Taurean Prince.
Tyus Jones is better than Taurean Prince.
Taurean Prince is on my on my all minimum contract change teams team. I do have Taurean Prince. I think I'm going to have to put him at power forward though, which is not ideal. But no, Russell Westbrook. If you're the Nuggets, maybe I would prefer Westbrook because that's like this huge roll of the dice that this guy can play 1 through 4 or something. You know, like he could be your weird power forward at stretches, and he's just going to be this energy monster for your locker room, for your bench, for your team on the court. But like, I don't know. But like, I think Tyus is the best guy who changed teams who's on the minimum. Russell Westbrook, he's on my squad, whether or not he starts on my squad. Would you rather start Gary Trent Jr. or Russell Westbrook?
Oh, Gary Trent Jr. Sure.
I got Tyus and Gary Trent Jr. starting. Maybe Eric Gordon off the bench. I'm not sure. Eric Gordon going from the Suns to the Sixers, sticking with the minimum. The hardest one are big men, Dave. I don't know if I'm missing any guys out there. I think the best big who changed teams is Daniel Theis on the minimum, of course, who took the minimum to change teams. Daniel Theis going to the Pelicans. I have him over James Wiseman going to the Pacers. Daniel Theis, I believe, an actual.
I think I agree with you there.
Winning basketball player. I would say my best 5 I can construct out of players who change teams for the minimum. I got Tyus Jones, Gary Trent Jr. I'm going to go Eric Gordon at the 3, Taurean Prince at the 4, Daniel Theis at the 5. My bench, my 6th and 7th men, I'm going to go Russell Westbrook and Alec Burks. I like Alec Burks.
I probably would have Alec Burks over Eric Gordon.
That I have no issue with that. I'm not going to,
especially he's going to the Heat.
I think it's a good.
Alec Burks is going to play.
Yep. I think if he can get minutes from new 2-way signing Josh Christopher, shout out Josh Christopher, Summer League championship game MVP, getting a 2-way spot. I mean, there might be guys that I missed on this. I'm trying to find out if there's
I'm scrolling through now. I think it's a pretty good list.
Again, I'm going just with guys who changed team for the minimum. I commend every team who got one of these guys. Like, that's a good signing for the minimum. All these guys are useful players. I don't know where they rank league wide. They're like the 150th, the 250th best players. It's just like in a 30-team league, if you can get Taurean Prince for the minimum, who like Lakers fans got tired of him, but whatever, man. He has decent size. He can knock down some 3-pointers. He can eat some innings, and
he can start when Middleton's out.
He's better than Jay Crowder now
with Middleton,
and the Bucks need those guys. So he's an all right guy. But anyways, that was the Croissant questionnaire. If you want your question answered on air, you have to be a Patreon supporter. If you want access to the bonus episode, I'm going to record tomorrow, July's bonus episode, answering even more of your questions that is exclusively available on Patreon. You have to join the Patreon. For $5 a month, you get access to not just the bonus episodes, but also the Slack channel. By the way, a thank you and shout out to Hayden D, Alan, and Patrick S for joining the Patreon. So if you want access to the bonus content, you want to join the listener Slack, if you want to play fantasy basketball or football with me, it all happens at patreon.com/Fastbreak Brekfast. Join over there, patreon.com/Fastbreak Brekfast. All right, Dave. It is now time for the awards segment of the program. That's right. The International Stackhouse of Pancakes Olympics edition. By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but the synchronized diving team of Cook and Bacon won a silver medal for Team USA. Love it. Cook, Bacon. What a great team.
Perfect.
Makes me miss Daquan Cook and Dwayne Bacon. I miss you guys. I wish you were back. Anyways, this is the Olympics edition of the International Stackhouse of Pancakes. Through the first 3 days of the Olympics. Here are the worst shooting performances. We have several honorable mentions before we get to 2 nominees. Honorable mention: Ishmael Romero and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 0 for 5. Larenzakis and Larenzakis and Thomas Walkup, 1 for 7. JT Thor, 2 for 9. Patty Mills, 2 for 10. Nick Kalathis, 3 for 12. Nooni Omut, 4 for 15. And Tremont Waters, 6 for 19. Our 2 nominees, Dave, as they occurred through the week. Sergio Llull, who hit an unreal shot clock buzzer beater today in Spain's win. Sergio Llull in the opening loss to Australia, he was 5 out of 17. Had 17 points, though. No rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers. And then Rui Hachimura in a loss to Germany. By the way, how's that France-Japan game going?
Wait, it's going to overtime. France was about to lose.
You're kidding me.
And now it's going to overtime. I got to say right now, this French team has not looked good for a few weeks now. And what I've seen out of them at the Olympics has not been good. Again, the last 3 weeks has not been great.
I now have to,
very good. I mean, they were in our group. I mean, in Okinawa, they're fine. They're not as good as this French team is supposed to be. So
I have to tweet right now, Dave, about Grizzlies Exhibit 10 signing Yuki Kawamura. He has 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists through regulation. Wow, he's like 5'8". He's short. He's a tiny man. I'm now mind blown. This France-Japan game is in extra time.
Honestly, I'm about to just maybe move my setup so I can actually see it.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this show up so we can watch this. I got a tweet about Yuki Kawamura with 26 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Amazing. Anyways, Rui Hachimura apparently redeeming himself in this one right now. He has a monster game as Japan goes for the upset. But however, in the loss to Germany, Rui was 4 for 19 from the field. He did have 20 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 1 personal foul. So our 2 nominees, Dave, Sergio Llull, 5 for 17, 17 points, no rebounds, and Rui Hachimura, 4 for 19, 20 points, 10 rebounds. What do you think?
Look, I'm going Patty Mills.
He's not even nominated.
He's not even nominated, but I'm going Patty Mills. He was honorable mention.
Okay.
I'm going Patty Mills.
All right, fine.
Because this is just it was ugly.
Yeah, this is you.
Some of the stuff that
this is you refusing to vote in the electoral process. You're not participating. I'm throwing out your illegal ballot. I'm naming Rui Hachimura, this week's International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award winner. And with that, Dave, let's get out of here. Let's watch the end of Japan France. Patreon supporters, look out for me. I believe tomorrow I'm going to be on the playback recording a bonus episode. If you miss it, it'll be up on the Patreon, patreon.com/Fastbreak Brekfast. I'm not doing any kind of live Team USA South Sudan. The Olympics Committee frowns on that and their TV rights. Anyways, if you want to support the show, patreon.com/Fastbreak Brekfast. Dave, a pleasure as always. Listeners, you guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fastbreak break, man. You understand?